And hello everybody. Today episode is about Toyota Prius battery fix, which I bought from IAA. I call this IAA because always when you buy something you cry. And this is the donor battery I purchased from junkyard and try to recover some of those cells, so I'll be able to use them on a project what I'm working on. So testing that battery with a regular light bulb 12 volt tester. So they give me the fastest reading, if that battery still has some power or not. That battery cells, it's connected individually on the back of that case. So if you want to replace each individual cell, you have to remove the whole box from the trunk to work on that. And when you work on the whole battery pack and you have to remove a lot of cells from the whole module, make sure you mark the polarity and those batteries connected in a series. So I mark on the one side is which one is my plus, my positive terminal, and of course on the other side of that module, so when it starts from the positive and other side has a negative and so forth, and all those it's connected in a series. So total of that battery pack gives you around 340 volts. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but this is most likely. So now we're testing those battery which was able to recover from the donor, and I was also recover the computer and the wire harness, which is previously burnt completely. So some of them showing 727, some of them 6, so I remove. So I try to select which battery has a higher voltage, and we're gonna replace those with the dead ones. And how you can see, try to don't screw up the polarity. So what I'm doing is just sliding each individual cell with the same polarity, and plus I have a mark on the metal cover. So this is the brackets holding everything in place. So let's talk about the safety precaution, what's going on here. I definitely not recommending to anybody the way I work on those battery. So please, if you ever try to work on the hybrid battery, it's a high voltage, extremely high voltage. If you don't know what you're doing, it can end up badly. And because I was playing with the power for a really long time, so it doesn't bother me at all, and I understand the whole system, how it's working. So please don't take any example the way I work on those battery with a safety gear. I mean, I have some safety gear, which is it's not OSHA friendly. So now we're working on those battery terminal copper connectors, terminal bus, you can call these things in many ways. So we're gonna use electrolysis to remove that corrosive residue. I was trying to clean up those connectors with different method before and end up this is the best solution with the electrolysis, and you got a less hassle, less headache. This is the vinegar, and we're adding some salt. and I also put baking soda later on, and this is works actually the best. So I'm hanging all those terminals connector on copper wire, and it's going to be connected to the negative. I have to do this 3 times because I have a small container, so I couldn't fit everything in one time. So this is I'm spreading the terminals and get it equal so they don't contact together, and it's connected to the anode, to the negative terminal. So you connect that to the battery directly. One thing what I did wrong, I used just the nail. I suggest if you use some bigger metal object, so it will help dissolve faster. So this is the result after 15 minutes, and how you can see it's almost done. So I'm putting this for another 15 minutes, let it run. So that nail, it was a little bit too small. By the end of the video I was hook up a bigger metal chunk of piece. So okay, this is the after half hour, and all those green residue already loosen up very good, so you can just clean up with a regular cloth, and it comes right out very easy. You don't have to use any sandpaper or wire brush. So now I hooked it up with a bigger piece I was fine laying around, and with the bigger cathode terminal you see the process goes much faster. So I use some dielectric grease on all those terminal, just preventing from getting corrosive again. So just putting those dielectric grease on the back, on the front, and also right behind those terminal, which is electric cable, which is going directly to the computer, so it has a best connection, and of course it won't get corrosive again. So try to put all over on those bus terminal. And all those hybrid battery has a common problem with corrosive terminal buses, and also depends of the area where you're living in. Depends on the humidity around you, and this is how those terminals get corrosive pretty quickly, and you're losing the connection between the cells. So if you have a problem with hybrid battery, first it's either you have a bad cell or corrosive terminal, and you're losing the connection between them. So I hook up back everything. So this is all the wires is from the donor battery, all the wire harness. We're just putting everything, so you have to be careful that extremely high voltage, so you have to know what you're doing. So we're putting also electric grease, dielectric grease on every nut, which is goes directly. I tied all those terminals just by hand, by feel. I do not use any torque specification. Probably there's somewhere in the internet you can find that, but you don't really have to do this, because just with a regular small 1/4 inch socket you can just tie them, and they will work okay. Just be careful. There's it's a stainless steel, nut, and you can get easy stripped those threads on the battery, so be careful. So this is the plastic cover that goes on the both sides of those hybrid battery. It's protecting from shortage. They're most likely universal. There's like a 4 pieces goes around. This is the fuse. I was just testing if the fuse is okay. Just make sure everything is fine. And this is the other side of the battery, and I put in plastic already, cover everything up. And here I was testing the both sides of the cells sections. So we got 143, 131, and I have to order 4 new battery cells from eBay, because those battery what I was replacing doesn't hold charge, so I have to just do the double work. I should order that battery right before, but I would just want to give it a chance. I didn't put that battery yet to that Prius, so I was testing. I was let her stay and see if it's whole charged, but didn't, so I decided to order 4 cells from eBay. It was around 80 bucks, 90 bucks I think. So that thing cost me around 100 bucks, and there was 200 for a donor battery, which is I was able to salvage just the wire harness and the computer, because on eBay just the wire harness that was around $120, and computer was impossible to find, so I have to end up just look for donor battery. So I was successful find battery on junkyard core charge, so I was able to use some parts from. So I was replacing those 4 cells, try to put them back, put the cover back for the bolts, and I also leave some message. I was there, I was fixed that. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, and see you next time. See ya.